After the season that Manchester United have had so far, with Erik ten Hag being sacked, Ruben Amorim coming in mid-season, and by the way, remember that he asked Ineos, can I come in the summer? They said no. They gave him an ultimatum and said, you have to come now, or the job might not be yours, because he knew what was probably going to happen when he came in. And exactly that has happened. Now, the January transfer window is going to close tonight, and United aren't going to make any more signings. That is what the club is briefing. I'm going to run through what the news is. And I tell you what, I do feel sorry for Ruben Amorim because, well, we need to speak about it. All right, you can let me know what you think about everything in the comments below. I think I know what you feel about Ineos. I can see the sentiment among United fans, and it is angry right now. If we take a look at this January transfer window, right? You got Diego Leon, who has been signed, 17-year-old. He's gone back to Paraguay. He's going to be joining as a new left-back in the summer. Then you've got Aiden Heaven, the 18-year-old that we've signed from Arsenal, who is considered to be Alessandro Martinez understudy, who may well come into the first-team environment a little bit sooner than expected. And Patrick Dorgu, who is somebody who can and will impact the quality of the starting 11 straight away. You've got Anthony, who's left on loan. You've got Rashford, who's left on loan. And then you've got the biggest problem that is kind of facing Ruben Amorim right now is Manchester United's lack of goals. Now, there are issues with the team that hopefully Dorgu will help, but the lack of goals is the single biggest problem that we've got. All right? And we all wanted United to find a short-term stopgap solution that would be a player on loan who would improve this squad until the summer, where we could address it and maybe sign a player like Victor Gyökeres. But this is what the press are now saying, having clearly been briefed by United. All right, no further incomings expected. That's what Laurie Whitwell is reporting. You've got Fabrizio Romano saying the same thing here. Manchester United's current stance is no more signings. Garnacho's going to be staying. Simon Stone from the BBC saying the exact same thing. And I tell you what, I really feel for Ruben Amorim. I really do. Jim Ratcliffe is getting an absolute shit ton of scrutiny, of anger from United fans, and I understand it. I also understand how bad United's financial position is. But the thing I don't understand, and this is where I'm confused, is this, right? So we've now got a bit more information on the Mathys Tel situation. I spoke about it earlier. It was like, it feels confusing. Like, surely there must be something in this as to why United didn't sign him if he was available on a loan with a buy option. And James Ducker from the Telegraph is here reporting that Bayern Munich just asked for 5 mil as a loan fee on top. And United were like, no, you're not having that. Therefore, he moved to Spurs. But I find it hard to believe that Barada, Wilcox, and United's recruitment team couldn't find some form of a stopgap solution on loan in this whole month that they could have executed, that they could have brought in to help Ruben Amorim with the squad that he's got. I find that hard to believe. I don't think United should, by the way, I don't think United should have paid 5 million. For the amount of cuts that we've been doing, micro cuts and massive cuts, to all of a sudden just give 5 million to a player that we're getting on loan and pay his wages on top of that, presumably, and then just send it back. No. I don't think that would have been the right thing to do. I understand that. I also understand why Rashford left, because he was never going to refine himself at the club. I also think it was the right decision for Anthony to leave as well. But to leave Ruben Amorim for the second half of this season, look, the league is a write-off, right? The league always has been a write-off from, I don't know how long ago, but it's been a write-off for a while. But to leave Amorim now with Amad Garnacho, Xerxes and Højlund as his 4 attackers, that's not even an attack strong enough to win the Europa League, let alone do anything and correct anything in the actual league. And I feel for Amorim. He said the storm was coming, and we knew that he was right. I just don't understand how there wasn't something available in the market that was a loan with a buy option or a loan with no option that could have given Amorim some form of a solution. Now, what you're probably likely to see is Ciro Obi Martin or Gabriel Bianchetti brought up from the academy into the first. Now, Biancheri's just had a shoulder surgery, so he probably won't be around for a while. I don't actually know how long. But I imagine that's going to happen. Because this is not enough in terms of a goal-scoring threat. Nothing is going to change that, all right? Second half of this season, you might, and I hope we will, and geez, we need it to happen now. We see more goals from Højlund and Xerxes. Some goals from Højlund and Xerxes. You see other players picking goals up around them. But it's not going to be enough. This is exactly why Ruben Amorim asked to become United manager in the summer. He didn't want to deal with the mid-season shit that was going to happen. To come in and into a squad which wasn't built for him. And I felt that squad, and this is my mistake, I felt that squad was better than the results that we were seeing. Not good enough to get Amorim the squad that he... Obviously, there's going to be a lot of change, but not as bad as what I'm currently seeing. But United brought Ruben Amorim in to play a very specific way. So people trying to suggest that he needs to change his whole system. We hired him because he was playing that system. We hired him because we want him to make United play like that. That's why we hired Ruben Amorim. So for other people that just wanted to throw that out the window and just play forward back, give us that little short-term relief. It won't be good in the long term. And I don't agree with that. Is there tactical flexibility that can come inside the system? Yes, there is. And I think that very much depends on the wing-backs. Hopefully why with Dorgu in, we can actually be more of the aggressive 5-3-2, where your wing-backs play more forward than they do defensive. But I'm pissed off that United haven't been able to find a short-term boost for Amorim that wouldn't have affected the bottom line that much, that wouldn't have affected the long-term vision and the long-term strategy. I wouldn't have wanted United to go out and sign someone permanently just to make the next 6 months better. And we couldn't have gone out and got someone like Victor Gyökeres, for example, who would have been the perfect long-term solution. But, of course, Amorim would never have approached him in January. He's already said he's not going to go after his sporting players. But to leave Amorim now in the second half of this season, it's kind of like throwing him to the wolves, really. I don't see how United's goal-scoring problems change or get better in the second half of the season with the current squad that we've got. He's there trying Kobbie Mainoo as a false nine. That didn't work. Probably won't try that again. It's a bad situation, man. That's exactly why we're in the bottom half of the table. And while the January transfer window, we did well in removing some players that I don't think have futures here, and I think Mathys is going to be going to PSV, and the bottom line is helped. I'm just staggered at the fact that United haven't been able to find somebody to bring in the short term on loan. You can't tell me that there wasn't somebody available. You can let me know what you think, but genuinely I do feel sorry for Ruben Amorim after that.